everybody, and welcome to the channel, Out of Ammo, Out of Time. I'm your host, KrabbyTerror8, and here we are in part 5 of the Investigator Games Eldritch Horror Edition. And we are going to go through Eldritch Horror against Azathoth with everybody's favourite sailor, Silas Marsh. Now, before we start, what is the Investigator Games, I hear you ask? Well, for those who aren't aware of how it works, within Eldritch Horror, at least, what we do is we take each of the investigators, true solo, and we put them through the game, first off with Azathoth, and we see how they go. And depending on their performance, we then put them into a league table, which currently looks like this. Yes, we've had 4 investigators so far, with varying and wildly different outcomes and results. So we can see that so far poor old Harvey is at the bottom of the table, and Lily is at the top of the table. So the way that we're scoring it, we're not trying to necessarily do a perfect game, but it's about the relative performance of the different investigators. How many mysteries they manage to solve. Obviously, if they can solve all 3 mysteries, all good. And where the doom track is at that time, when they finish or are defeated, and how many turns it takes. So we're using that to rank the investigators. Nobody's managed 3 mysteries so far, but you never know. Silas might be lucky. As we saw last week with Jacqueline Fine, she really struggled to find an artifact, and so she spent most of the game trying to find an artifact so that she could solve a particular mystery, and that never went anywhere. So that's the way it goes sometimes in Eldritch Horror, and we will see how Silas goes. We'll just go around the houses and just go through everything. Here is the Mythos deck already set up here, so I've already done that. And we can see here we have our reserve. I've already shuffled and set that out. I'll just shuffle up the unique... Oh, got the dice there as well. I didn't realize they were highlighted. We've got... we'll just shuffle the unique assets on the spells. And then here we got the Willful Aristocrat, which allows you to gain a handshake or a will, influence or will. And you can re-roll a die. We've got the Curiosity Shop. When you gain this card, you can gain an artifact, which would have been nice for Jacqueline if we'd gotten that one. We also have a Sledgehammer that gives you +1 strength and +2 to combat encounters. Very nice. And a Research Student. To roll a die on a 5 or a 6, gain a clue. On a 1, discard the nearest clue on the game board. So there we go. Interesting bunch of assets there. We'll just shuffle the rest of the assets already did, and then the artifacts, and of course we have the usual encounter cards. I'm not going to shuffle, well, why don't we? Okay, we'll shuffle this one up 4 times, 2, 3, 4. So the expedition is starting on Istanbul. There we go. So we'll move that over to Istanbul. And then we have the gates. And obviously we have all of the various conditions up here. Just shuffle those up. I'm not using these, I don't think. We've got our research encounters here. And we've got our mysteries. So let's see what mystery befalls Silas in the first time. So the initial mystery is occult research. I'm not sure if we've had this one before. Oh yes, the Shan are controlling innocent victims everywhere, using them to call forth Azathoth. After an investigator resolves a research encounter, he may spend 1 clue he gained from that encounter and place a clue on this card. At the end of the Mythos phase, if there are clues on this card equal to 1, solve this mystery. Well, that's not too bad, actually. That's a fairly easy, well, easier one to do than some of the others, as long as we can get a clue. Okay, so we haven't done any of these, so let's now go ahead and spawn gates and clues. Speaking of which, so we'll start with the gates, and the first gate that we spawn is in San Francisco, which couldn't be, maybe it's not as far from Sydney as we imagine. And a monster to go with that, and we draw a doll. Hello, I'm a doll. Is it doll? I think it is. Where does that go? Okay, move this monster one space towards the nearest investigator, then each investigator on his... Okay, ooh, it's quite nasty. Quite strong, too, so it'll be quite difficult for old Silas to manage the whole, but if we have the sledgehammer, I suppose it won't be so bad. So that's on San Francisco. We'll bring out a clue as well. And the first clue is on 21. Where's that? Oh, that's actually really close. Wow. Oh, wow. How's that? How's that for a bit of luck? Clue right there. Fantastic. That was unexpected. So that's those. So we move around to Silas himself. We're obviously going to be on turn 1. 15 on the Doom track to go with Azathoth, of course. Now, a couple of things about Silas. Here we are. He's a sailor. He has his stat line is pretty consistent, actually, pretty good. 3-3-3-3 for everything except for lore. So let's just say he's not much of a spellcaster. So we'll probably ignore that. Some pretty nice tats there too for Silas. Now he has an 8th strength, but his psychological index is a bit on the shaky side. So yeah, he's much more of a fighter than a skill caster. Now he gets an action. He has a unique action ability: move one space along a ship path and then perform one additional action. So he kind of gets a free action along ship path, which the fact that he's a sailor makes sense. And if you are on a sea space, investigators on your space roll one additional die when resolving tests. Now, it doesn't say other investigators, so I'm going to assume this includes Silas. Yes, he's allowed that, so he gets an additional die when resolving tests. So, there we go. Now, if we flip his... we won't worry about what's on the right-hand side because it's solo. But he starts in Sydney. He starts with the fishing net. Even as a child in Innsmouth, Silas had a special connection to the sea. He's an able and well-reasoned man on land, but on the ocean he possesses a singular strength and wit. It's earned him a sterling reputation in every port across the globe, particularly in Sydney, where Silas set ashore last night, but this morning the smell of the briny air carries dread as well as joy. There is something in his past concerning something in Innsmouth that he knows will someday catch up with him. Dun, 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 dun. Well, it's nice that he's starting in my hometown, Sydney. Hope he enjoys the Harbour Bridge. I guess the Opera House wouldn't have existed when Silas Marsh was supposed to be around. And I forgot to read out his quote. "Leave your fears on the docks, lads. I'll not carry that cargo. The wind is up, full sail." There we go. So, so we get to move one space along ship paths, and then perform an additional action, but it can't be the same action, obviously. And if you're in a sea space, you get one additional die when resolving tests. So being at sea, all at sea, is actually a good thing for Silas. Now here has the fishing net. Here, you may re-roll one die when resolving a strength test during a combat encounter, reduce the damage of monsters in that encounter by a minimum of 1. Yeah, it's all right. It's not the greatest asset in the world, and I think that's all. I think we are ready to roll in the Investigator Games for Silas Marsh. So here we are in Sydney, and let's kick things off. So first thing, we've got 2 actions now. Just looking at this, we've got to focus on the. All we need to do is resolve a research encounter, spend a clue. So that's relatively close, but I'm thinking that we probably need to just get ourselves set up a little bit better. So I wouldn't mind, for example, the sledgehammer would certainly help in terms of helping us out. The willful aristocrat would also be kind of nice as well. If we need an artifact, we can return to the curiosity shop. Research student. This is always a bit of a risk. We can get a clue, but also we can end up discarding a clue, which wouldn't be great. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is probably roll up for the sledgehammer. I think that's probably a place to start. So, I can't find my dice now. Where's my dice gone? Oh, there they are. Thinking, where have I put my dice? Put them here. Okay, so let's do that first. First thing we're going to do is we're going to see if we can roll up for an asset. So we have a 3 influence. So that's 3 dice. 1, 2, 3. I do apologize. I'm recovering from a cold, so I'm coughing quite a bit. So I do apologize. Let's see how we go. So we roll that up. And we get 1 success, only 1. We can't re-roll something because you have to be on a sea space and we are on a city space. So I think it might be a good idea because if we're going to get, it's only 2, so we would do 3. We could get the research student, but we can't get these others. So I am going to take not all of them. Going to take a deck condition, and I'm going to take the sledgehammer. Because I think those two go together quite nicely. So there we go. So we will draw a new asset, and we get the 45 automatic, which is rather nice as well. And this gives us gain +1 strength. So I suppose, just so I don't forget, I'm going to put that on here. That's a passive skill boost, it would appear. Very nice. Okay. So that's our first action. So we have received a deck condition. We are not going to get rid of the deck condition right now because what I want to do is I want to move to 21. And see if we can get this clue. So that was our second action. So that's both of our actions. Let's move these back over here. Keep them on here. So, so we now do an encounter. So we're going to do indeed a research encounter. So research, spend a clue he gained from that encounter. So let's see how we go with this research encounter. So we flip it. Have a look. We're in a wilderness location, which is not really Silas's thing, but anyway. In the dark of night, a voice whispers alien secrets to you. Gain this clue. Oh, okay. Fantastic. And I think it says... Oh, we haven't resolved it yet. You feel compelled to obey the voice's demands. Will -2. If you fail... Okay, so will -2. We're a will of 3, so that only gives us a 1. Oh dear. So let's roll this up. See how we go. 5 or a 6. Come on. 4. So we fail. Oh dear. So if you fail, the Shan steals your memories and flies off to do the same to your colleagues. Investigators as a group discard clues equal to the number of gates on the gate board that correspond to the current omen. Ah, you're kidding me. Seriously? Seriously, after all that. That's just so annoying. Oh dear. So we lose the clue. So we, unfortunately, that didn't work out how we hoped it would. That's very annoying. I thought we would, flip that back. I thought we would have gotten ahead there, but not to be. That's very frustrating. Oh well, that's the end of it. So we'll have to find ourselves another clue. Hopefully one will emerge. So we will flip this as we move into the Mythos phase, and yes indeed, there's a new clue. And the clue is the Amazon. Right, that's over here. And next, London. There's a thing on London. Yep. And we also have 1 Eldritch token. Despite the unexplained deaths and the surrounding turmoil, the notorious play has opened. Many praise the show for radically changing their lives. Others leave the theatre feeling nauseous, if they leave at all. The king in yellow. For those who've played The Path to Carcosa in Arkham Horror, the card game, this is a nice little link between the two. As an encounter, an investigator on London may attempt to put a stop to the vile performance. Influence -1. If he passes, he may spend clues equal to 1 to solve this rumour. Investigators as a group lose sanity equal to the number of Eldritch tokens on this card, unless the lead investigator gains a blight condition. If the lead investigator does not gain this condition, plays an Eldritch token on this card. I see how it works. So, and it starts with 1. Okay. Ooh, that's over in London. Okay. We are a long, long way from any of that, but we can make our way up there, no problem. Okay. So there we go. That's the end of the first round of Eldritch Horror for Silas, which was a bit of a disappointing round, really. Whilst we got ourselves a sledgehammer and moved into the Australian wilderness, which, to be fair, is not really Silas's strong suit. Unfortunately, we lost the clue that we gained, which means that we still don't have the first mystery solved. So I think the main thing here is that we probably get ourselves to Sydney, get ourselves a ship ticket, get ourselves over to Buenos Aires is probably the way we want to go. And then once we've done that, we can then move to the Amazon and then probably either get to San Francisco and try and close the gate, or get ourselves to London because, I haven't changed this. This is 8. Our sanity isn't great, so we actually need to get to London because otherwise we're going to find ourselves insane relatively quickly. So actually, we probably need to get to London fairly fast if we don't want to... but this will also require a clue. So this is starting to get a little bit frustrating already because we need clues, and we need 2 clues. So I think the Curiosity Shop... Oh no, that's not the clue. The research student might be a worthwhile thing to get. Okay, so we have 2 actions we can take. I guess the first action will be to move back to Sydney, will be the first thing to do. And then, what should we do for our second action? Yes, do we want to get rid of this? If you pass discard, we could do that. The other alternative is to try and... I think we do want to get the research student, but I probably want to get out of debt first. So I am going to see if I can get out of debt. So we had 3 dice. There we go. I'll roll them up. What do we do? Well, we get 1. We get 2 successes. So I think that's fine. If you pass, discard this card. Fantastic. Okay, we'll discard that card. Okay. So that's the end of our movement phase. We're going to encounter. We will do a Sydney encounter. I didn't move this over to 2. This is our second turn. Sydney, the great Theodore places you in a hypnotic trance and gives you false memories. Will. Okay, so we're a will of 3. Let's see how we go. And we we don't pass. Oh my goodness, we fail. That was a pretty bad thing to happen. We seem to be failing a lot of our will tests. If you fail, you cannot handle the strain. Gain 2 madness conditions. Oh dear. Okay. So first madness condition. Second madness. This is not a good start for Silas, I'm afraid. Despair. When you perform a rest action, you cannot recover sanity. Flip this card. Lose a sanity. That's really bad. Oh dear. Amnesia. When you perform a rest action, you may roll 1 die on a 5 or a 6. Okay. This is bad because we're going to be losing sanity left, right, and centre. And if we don't, I can understand why he's feeling some despair. I'm feeling the despair as well. Okay. There we go. All right, so that's the encounter. We move into the Mythos phase. So we flip the Mythos phase, and here we go. So we move this around. There are no other gates at the moment. There are no so we do draw. There are no blue gates to put monsters on. So we draw a gate instead, and we get the pyramids. Oops. And we get a leng spider. There's a leng spider on the pyramids. There we go. And a clue. That's good. So the clue is, what's this clue? Arkham. So we'll move this to Arkham. There we go. After weeks of encountering ancient and monstrous creatures, you were unprepared for something so cold and personal as being betrayed by an associate. Lies can be every bit as destructive as any wizard's curse. Unexpected betrayal. Each investigator with at least one ally asset loses 3 health and discards an ally asset. Well, I don't have an ally asset, so that's fine. Okay, that's the end of turn 2. So at the end of turn 2, we got ourselves a couple of madness conditions, which are going to really impact our sanity unless we deal with them. And we also need to get to London, because if we don't get to London, that's also going to be a problem as well. And London is rather a long way from where we are. So the question is, what do we do? Because we really need to do something about all of these. With the despair, can we, when you perform a rest action, you cannot recover sanity, flip this card. Yes, I think, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a rest, because I can't afford to do this. So when you perform a rest action, you can recover sanity, flip this card. With all horrifying knowledge, with all you've seen and heard, he's hardly started the game. How could you possibly go on? Fearing what might await in death, you also hope that gouging your eyes or giving yourself a lobotomy will end your suffering. Oh my goodness, this is horrible. Will -1. So that's a will of 2. So hopefully we will... oh, hold on. Roll it up. No. Oh, hold on. No, we fail. If you fail, impair your law and flip this card. No, we better not impair our law. So we impair our observation. Is there a -1 here? No, that's... hold on, maybe there's a way of state 1, 2. Doesn't seem to be any -1s here. So, So instead of using that, I'm going to put one of these on it, so we know our observation is -1. For some reason, this one doesn't have the minuses. So there we go. So that was not great, and I think we keep the card and we flip it. So that was a complete waste of time. This one here, perform a rest action. I did roll 1 die on a 5 or a 6, discard this card. Let's see if we can discard this one. We do, so at least that was something. So we got rid of one of the cards anyway. Okay, so we still have despair, which is the one we really need to lose. So that was our rest action. For our second action, I wonder, so we can do this, which is move a space and then additional action. So what I might do is I might move to this space and then move as a second one, because I'm trying to get to Is that the fastest way to London? Or maybe I should go this way, because I can get up to Rome and then London. So I can get there next to Rome next time. Actually, I could purchase a ship ticket to get myself to Rome, and then I could get the free action to London, so I can get up there ASAP, because if I don't, I'm going to go insane before I've even started. Okay, and then from there, once we've done that, we can go to Arkham and get the clue, and hopefully we can solve the first mystery. Okay. I didn't click this over. So we're in turn 3. So we do an encounter. We do a city encounter. A general city encounter. Let's flip that over. City. The local Silver Twilight Lodge is under investigation by the police. The lodge members will gladly contribute their magic to your cause in exchange for a favor. You may gain an agreement condition to gain a boon condition. Okay, let's do it. So we'll get a boon condition, which is, good. So we're blessed, but we also get an agreement condition. Take that one. It's closest to the top. I'll just shuffle these up. So what's this one? Local action. If you pass, you may spend 2 clues. Roll a die on a 1 or a 2. Okay. So we've got an agreement condition. We've got a blessed condition. And we're still in despair. So there you go. That was something. Okay. So that's our encounter. So we move into the Mythos phase. Flip this. And what have we got here? So this moves around. There's no red gates at the moment. There's only 2 gates. So there we go. We then move into the lightning. So what lightnings do we have on the board? Is this? No, Leng Spider doesn't have a lightning, but the Doll does. Move this monster 1 space towards the nearest investigator. Then each investigator on this space or adjacent spaces lose 1 health and sanity. So, which way would it move? Would it move here? Or would it move... I guess it would move here. I guess that's the way it would move. Okay. I don't think there's anything else on the board here. So this here, on here, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do it the other way. So let me just make sure I've got all that right. Investigators as a group lose sanity equal to the number of Eldritch tokens, which was 1. If the lead investigator does not gain a condition, place an Eldritch token, which I did. Okay, and I lost a sanity, but I retained my blessed condition. Okay, the agreement conditions: roll a dice on a 1 or 2. Let's hope we don't get a 1 or a 2. So we'll roll it up. And we get a 6. That's fine. And then this one, I think we just lose a sanity. So we're now down to 2 sanity. Yeah. Okay. Then we draw a gate. The Amazon. We draw a monster. A witch. Which did we draw? Okay. Oh, we got a curse. We didn't, I don't think. No. So luckily we didn't get a curse condition, else that could be something that affects us. Okay. So we've done all of that. Ever since you arrived here, you felt the call of the other world. An entire land of wonders awaits you just past that threshold, and you find yourself unable to resist the temptation any longer. Each investigator on a space containing a gate tests -2 will. If he fails, he gains lost. Okay, well, we're not. All right, so that's the end of that turn. So where are we? We are in the middle of, we're just on Africa. We really need to get to London and deal with this ongoing rumour, because it's driving us around the twist, quite frankly. And that's what we're going to aim to do. We really need to get rid of it, because already our sanity is down to a trembling 2, and we need to do something about it. Then once we've done that, we can probably then focus again on the mystery, which is getting a clue, and there's one just in Arkham. So hopefully we can get over there and we can get that done. Let's see how we go. So So what I'm going to do is I can get myself a ship ticket as a first action. I can move to here as a free action, move along a ship path, and then I can use the ship ticket as my second action to move to Rome and then to London. I think that's right, what I did there. So I was here. First action was to get a ship ticket. Then I got a free move to here. Then I spent the ship ticket to go to Rome to London. 1, 2. Yes. So I got myself to London. Ooh, happened there. There we go. Super fast. There we go. Sorry, I'm in go 4 now, aren't I? So we move into our encounter phase. And so as an encounter, an investigator on London may attempt to put a stop. We don't have the clues. Yes. So we need to get some clues, which I guess if we had the research student, we could get that. I forgot about the clues. So we'll need to do that next time, is look to gain a clue, maybe through the research student. Yes. Okay, so maybe now that we're here in London, what does London do for us? Spawn clue tokens. Right. We're in the right place to spawn clue tokens. So let's see if we can get one. So in London, you peruse the Scoop, a tabloid paper that specializes in strange and lurid stories. Observation -1. If you pass, gain 1 clue as you find a... Oh, okay, come on. Well, we're 2, so we've got 2 dice. This would be great to get. Now, can we... If you're on a C space, we're not. We're on a... Okay. Let's go. Let's roll it up. Come on, 5 or a 6. Yes, we did it. Oh, my goodness, we did it. We got a bit of luck at last. Gain a clue. Ah, yes. Okay. So we gain a clue. Wow, that was really fortuitous encounter. Now, that was an encounter, wasn't it? So, not a research encounter. Okay, so it wasn't a research encounter. Okay, so hopefully we can then do that for next time. And I've realized actually 4, 5, or 6 would have been a pass. I mustn't forget that. That's a 4, 5. In fact, I'm going to move this here because otherwise I'm going to forget that I have a blessed condition. So we'll just leave this over here. So when I'm getting the dice, I remember that it's a 4, 5, or a 6. So we actually would have passed that anyway. So there we go. That's yep, fantastic. Okay, so we'll move. That was the encounter. So we move into the oh dear. So we move into this one, which is, this moves around again in the Mythos phase. So I think the Doom track does move now because there is the pyramids. So this moves down to 14. Whoops. Yep. Then it's again lightning bolt. So I think the doll moves again here. Oh no. And actually, each investigator on this space or adjacent spaces lose 1 health and 1 sanity. Oh no. Oh dear. Okay. And is there I think the witch is if you have a curse condition. We don't have a cursed condition, thankfully. But actually we do have despair, so we lose a sanity. There we go. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That was very short and sweet. Unfortunately, with only 4 sanity, gaining a despair condition, it all kind of just didn't come together. very quickly. So unfortunately, Silas has been unable to really get very far. He really isn't set up, I suppose, for solo play. So that was a very unfortunate. It only took 4 turns for him to go insane. Getting that despair condition was really quite unfortunate. And then, of course, I didn't realise that the doll was. Maybe I shouldn't have gone that way. Too late now. But unfortunately, with London, it was going to get increasingly difficult unless we got there to actually do something, because that was also going to cost us sanity unless we gain a condition. So thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. Next time, let's see who we will be playing next time. Next time, oops. Let me just shuffle it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next time, it will be Lola Hayes who will be stepping up to the plate, and hopefully she has more success than Silas. Thank you very much for watching. You can see how all of the investigators have done in the table after this. Please comment, like, and subscribe. I'm Krabby Terror 8, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.